What if I told you that a 24-story apartment building in London was covered in flammable material? Material that turned the entire tower into a death trap when a fire started. And that the building managers knew it was dangerous, but chose it anyway, because it was cheaper. Just after midnight on June 14, 2017, a fire broke out in Grenfell Tower. A faulty refrigerator, 4th floor. It should have been a small fire, contained to one apartment. Modern buildings are designed for this: compartmentalization, fire-resistant walls, sprinklers, alarms. But within minutes, the entire building was on fire. Flames raced up the outside of the tower, floor after floor. The building became a torch, visible across London, and inside hundreds of people were trapped. 72 people died that night. Men, women, children burned alive, suffocated, trapped in their homes. And here is what will make you furious. It was completely preventable. If you are watching this, please subscribe. Every episode of If History Repeats explores moments when warnings were ignored and the disasters that followed. London, June 13th, 2017. Evening, Grenfell Tower stands in North Kensington, West London, a 24-story apartment building, public housing, home to about 600 people, families, children, elderly residents, immigrants, working-class Londoners. The building is not new. It was built in 1974, but it had been recently renovated. Between 2012 and 2016, the exterior was refurbished. New windows, new insulation, and new cladding. The cladding was supposed to modernize the building, make it look better. The tower sat near wealthier neighborhoods. The council wanted it to blend in, look less like social housing, so they covered the exterior with aluminum composite panels. Shiny, modern, attractive, but there was a problem. The panels had a core made of polyethylene, a type of plastic, highly flammable. Essentially, the building was wrapped in fuel. Fire-resistant cladding was available. It cost about $2 more per square meter. For the entire building, using fire-resistant materials would have added roughly $293,000 to the project. The council chose the cheaper option. They saved money, and 72 people would die because of it. But nobody knew that yet. On the night of June 13th, residents of Grenfell Tower went to bed. Parents tucked in children. Elderly residents settled in for the night. It was a normal evening. Just after midnight, 12:54 a.m. on June 14th, a fire started. Flat 16, 4th floor. A hot point fridge freezer malfunctioned. The fire started in the kitchen. The resident noticed it immediately. He tried to put it out. Could not. He grabbed his family, ran out of the apartment, called the fire brigade. The fire brigade arrived within 6 minutes. Fast response. Professional. They entered the building, started fighting the fire. Standard procedure for a high-rise fire. Contain it to the apartment. Keep it from spreading. Evacuate the affected floor if necessary. But tell other residents to stay put. Stay in your apartments. The building is designed to contain the fire, except Grenfell Tower was not designed to contain this fire, because the fire reached the cladding, and when it did, everything changed. The polyethylene core ignited. The flames spread to the panel above it, then the one above that. The fire raced up the exterior of the building, climbing the outside like it was following a trail of gasoline. Within minutes, the fire had spread from the 4th floor to the top of the building. 24 stories engulfed in flames. Residents inside started calling emergency services. The building is on fire. We are trapped. Please help. But the standard advice was still being given. Stay put. Stay in your flats. The fire will be contained, except it was not being contained. It was spreading fast. Residents could see the flames outside their windows, smell the smoke, feel the heat. Some opened their doors and saw the hallways filled with black smoke. The single stairwell, the only way out, was already impassable. People were trapped. Some made desperate decisions. They broke windows, shouted for help, waved sheets and towels, hoping someone would see them, hoping firefighters could reach them. But the fire was too intense, the heat too great. Ladders could only reach the lower floors. The people trapped high up, floors 15, 18, 20, were unreachable. Some jumped, others stayed in their apartments, trapped, calling loved ones, saying goodbye. And as the fire raged, the world watched. News cameras captured it. A 24-story inferno in the middle of London in 2017, in one of the wealthiest cities on Earth. How could this happen? Welcome to If History Repeats. Today, we go back to Grenfell Tower, June 14th, 2017, to the fire that killed 72 people, the cost-cutting decisions that turned a building into a death trap, and the warnings that were ignored for years. And here is the promise I will keep by the end of this video. I will tell you how many buildings in the UK, right now, today, still have the same flammable cladding, and whether anyone has been held accountable for the deaths at Grenfell. The fire at Grenfell Tower burned for over 24 hours. It took 250 firefighters to bring it under control, but by the time the flames were out, the damage was done. 72 people dead, entire families killed, children, babies, elderly residents who could not escape. But what makes the tragedy unbearable is how preventable it was. Let's talk about the decisions that led to this. Grenfell Tower was refurbished between 2012 and 2016. The project cost $8.6 million. The goal was to improve the building, make it more energy efficient, modernize its appearance. The cladding, the exterior panels, was a key part of the renovation. The building needed insulation, and the cladding would cover the insulation and give the tower a sleek, modern look. But there were choices to make. Fire-resistant cladding was available. Panels with a mineral core, non-combustible, safe. They cost slightly more, about $2 per square meter more than the flammable alternative. For the entire building, the cost difference was roughly $293,000. The council, Kensington and Chelsea Council, chose the cheaper option, aluminum composite panels with a polyethylene core, flammable, but cheaper. Why? Because Grenfell Tower was social housing, public housing for low-income residents. The people living there were poor, immigrants, working-class families. They had no political power, no influence. And the council wanted to save money, so they chose the cheaper cladding, and 72 people died. But the cladding was not the only problem. Grenfell Tower had a single stairwell, one way out. If that stairwell filled with smoke, which it did, residents were trapped. The building had no sprinkler system. Sprinklers were not required by UK regulations for buildings constructed before 2007. They were recommended, but not required. Installing them would have cost money, so they were not installed. The fire alarms were inadequate. Some residents reported that alarms did not work or were not loud enough. Warnings were ignored, and here is what makes it even worse. Residents had been complaining for years. The Grenfell Action Group, a residents' association, published warnings on their blog. They documented safety concerns, electrical surges, potential fire risks, inadequate fire safety measures. In 2016, they wrote, "It is a truly terrifying thought." But the Grenfell Action Group firmly believe that only a catastrophic event will expose the ineptitude and incompetence of our landlord. They were right. Their warnings were ignored, dismissed. The council and the management company did nothing because the people living in Grenfell Tower did not matter. On the night of June 14th, when the fire started, residents followed the instructions they were given. Stay put. Wait for help. The building is safe. But the building was not safe. The stay-put policy is standard for high-rise fires. It assumes the building is compartmentalized, that fire cannot spread between flats, that residents are safer staying in their apartments than trying to evacuate through smoke-filled stairwells. But Grenfell's compartmentalization failed. The fire spread via the exterior cladding. It bypassed all the internal fire barriers. Flames entered apartments through windows. Smoke filled the building, and residents who stayed put died. Some realized the advice was wrong. They tried to escape, wrapped wet towels around their faces, crawled through smoke, made it to the stairwell. Some survived, others did not. Families were separated, parents trying to get children out, elderly residents unable to move fast enough. People calling 999, begging for help, hearing "stay where you are" even as their apartments filled with smoke. The fire brigade did everything they could. Firefighters ran into the burning building, carried people out, rescued dozens, risked their lives, but the fire was too fast, too intense, the building too tall, and 72 people died. Entire families. The Chuker family, 6 people. Grandparents, parents, children, all gone. The Hashim family, the Belkadi family. Names, people, lives, not statistics. People. And the worst part, it did not have to happen. If the council had spent an extra $293,000 on fire-resistant cladding, those 72 people would still be alive. If sprinklers had been installed, the fire might have been stopped. If residents' warnings had been taken seriously, the building could have been made safe. But none of that happened, because the people living in Grenfell Tower were poor, and their lives were not valued. So here is the question. Has anything changed since Grenfell? Are buildings safer now? Have the lessons been learned? The answer will make you angry. After the Grenfell fire, the UK government banned the use of flammable cladding on high-rise residential buildings. New regulations, stricter safety standards. But here is the problem. The ban only applies to new buildings, buildings constructed after the fire. What about the buildings that already have flammable cladding? The ones built before 2017? There are approximately 1,700 high-rise buildings in the UK that still have flammable cladding. Right now, today, in 2026, 1,700 buildings, thousands of residents living in potential death traps. Why have they not been fixed? Because removing the cladding is expensive. It costs millions per building. And there is a fight over who should pay. The building owners, the government, the original contractors. While they argue, people live in unsafe buildings, unable to sell their flats, unable to afford to move, trapped. Some buildings have 24-hour fire watches, people paid to sit and watch for fires because the buildings are too dangerous to leave unmonitored. This is the reality. 7 years after Grenfell, and the problem has not been solved. And here is what nobody wants to admit. Grenfell was not unique. It was not an isolated incident. It was the result of systemic failures, cost-cutting, deregulation, regulatory capture, a government and an industry that prioritized profit over safety. And that system still exists. If you made it this far, thank you. On June 14, 2017, a fire started in Grenfell Tower. A faulty refrigerator, 4th floor. The fire spread to the exterior cladding, flammable material chosen because it was cheaper. Within minutes, the entire building was engulfed. 72 people died. Men, women, children, burned alive, trapped in a building that should have been safe. Residents had warned for years. Fire risks were documented, but their warnings were ignored. Because they were poor, and their lives did not matter. And here is the promise fulfilled. How many buildings still have flammable cladding? About 1,700 in the UK. Right now, people are living in them. And has anyone been held accountable? No. A public inquiry is ongoing, but no criminal charges have been filed. No one has gone to jail. The pattern continues. Share this with someone who refuses to look away. Next episode, the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union. 2 superpowers, locked in a nuclear arms race, thousands of warheads, missiles pointed at each other, ready to launch at a moment's notice. Mutually assured destruction. MAD, the strategy that kept the peace. If one side launches, the other retaliates. Both nations destroyed, millions dead. the planet irradiated. The Cold War ended in 1991. The Soviet Union collapsed. The threat seemed to fade, but the weapons did not disappear. Today, there are still over 12,000 nuclear warheads in the world. Russia has them, the United States has them, China, France, the UK, India, Pakistan, Israel, North Korea, and the systems that control them are old, outdated, vulnerable. What if today a nuclear war started by accident? Not by intention, not by strategy, but by mistake, a false alarm, a miscommunication, a computer glitch. It has almost happened before. In 1983, a Soviet early warning system detected incoming American missiles. The officer on duty, Stanislav Petrov, had minutes to decide. Launch a retaliatory strike, start World War III, or trust his instinct that it was a false alarm. He chose not to launch. The system was wrong, a glitch. If he had followed protocol, nuclear war would have begun. One man, one decision, between humanity and annihilation. And today, those systems are still in place, thousands of warheads, on hair trigger alert, ready to launch in minutes. What if the next false alarm is not recognized in time? What if the next Stanislav Petrov launches? A nuclear war would not just destroy cities. It would end civilization, nuclear winter, ash blocking the sun, temperatures plummeting, crops failing, billions starving. Humanity would not survive. The weapons exist, the systems are active, and the risk is real. Because some disasters are not caused by negligence, they are caused by the weapons we built and the systems we trusted not to fail. I am, if history repeats, and history always has something to say.